Hey everybody, I am Haley Gray and I'm excited to be with you here today. This is Noah Mittman. He is one of our sponsors for the WEN Summit, and he also does some really cool stuff. So before I introduce him, if you are on the live, give us a hashtag live. If you are on the replay, give us a hashtag replay and let us know that you are on and that you can see us. And we are excited to be here. The WEN Summit is happening Thursday through Saturday of this week. It is coming down on us like a train. And we've got over 180 people currently registered, which is amazing. And I am so excited to be there and so excited to be doing this event. And Noah, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, because I think it is so cool.
Yeah. So I am been a full filmmaker and a video coach for over 14 years. I'm a family man. I'm an entrepreneur. And the main thing since COVID hit is, video production in person kind of slowed down. So I have started to help course creators to make videos and become more confident about the process and kind of educate on filming their online courses.
That's pretty cool because, one of the things that a lot of people are doing right now since COVID hit, especially, is, there's been a trend towards this for a long time, but is oh my gosh, I need to pivot. I need to be online. I need to do this stuff. Now what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
And here we are.
Creating. It's not, it's not staying still. It's not panicking. It's moving forward. And I mean, I think we were in a kind of move to the online space, but man, we have been pushed into kind of a online course revolution here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a massive shift because all of a sudden, where we've been going with Coursera and Thinkific and all of the online platforms, is suddenly accelerated 10,000%.
Right. It's huge. And it's such an opportunity for the people that are willing and able to do that pivot and create something. And I mean, it's projected to be so it was a couple years ago at like 150 billion, and it's projected to be past 300 billion in 2025. Like, it's just blowing up.
That is crazy. So tell me, what are some things that people need to know about online course creation and videos? Like, what are some misconceptions that people have about the whole process?
I think the biggest one that I hear a lot is just kind of being scared to start and thinking that you need all of the equipment in the world to start.
Mm-hmm.
I think my biggest thing is just to start going for it and get your message out there. Use what you have at home.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I dive into a little bit more I'm going to be doing a presentation for the summit, and you can literally start making your course with things that you already have in your house. Probably something you already have in your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, and you guys may or may not notice, I have a pair of earbuds in because the microphone is built into my earbuds.
Right.
And
this thing.
You have that thing, right? And I have bought the whole microphone and I've done all the stuff and clicked my, heels. And it's been a process of evolution. Where I started was my back was actually to that wall, and then I flipped. I've literally gone around, 365, but then my back was to the kitchen, and I was doing Facebook Lives, and my kids were walking around in the background, and I had green on the walls. And then I flipped the other way, because then I no longer had kids walking behind me, but I had the problem that I was backed up to the window.
Right.
So I actually had to take the mirror off the wall behind me and paint the entire office. So it's been an evolution that you guys have probably seen over the last few years without even realize that, this is the process that all needs to happen. And
because it's about, I mean, what you just described there is kind of the idea of getting,
it's incremental.
It's attention, right? So whatever you're doing with video, you want to set yourself up to have the attention and not have people distracted by your kids, by the back of your head in the mirror, by this light that keeps turning on and off, which I'm going to take care of just a second.
Right, exactly. And it's a process of incrementally improving your, your video creation, not because you're going to start and do everything absolutely perfectly professionally to start with. Although you guys will probably notice over time, mine has gotten better and better. And
what happens because
it happens. You practice.
Experience, nothing beats experience.
Absolutely.
But giving yourself permission to be a beginner for a while and to start is, I think, the biggest first step. Is people are literally like, either it's the gear thing or their background or they're nervous on camera. All of this stuff is doable and is fixable, and you just have to start at square one, which I help with.
Absolutely. And I mean, nobody starts at perfection.
I call it the prison of perfection. I release you from the prison of perfection.
I love it. Yeah, because you can't do the videos for your first course without, practice, without doing stuff. And you have to start with where you're at, doing the best you can with what you've got, with the technology you have. And this is part of my whole mantra of you do the best you can with what you have until you can afford to do better. Right. And it doesn't mean that we're telling you right now to go out and buy a brand new computer, the $500 microphone, the extra special, earbuds, the whole, soundproofing your office.
Right. Like the example that I love right now is Jimmy Fallon is currently recording his show on his phone at his house. Like, nobody cares about camera quality right now. Everybody, like, getting out there is more important than how amazingly perfect it looks the first time.
Yeah, and exactly. And if Jimmy Fallon can record his show from his phone in his house, then you can do it from your phone in your house.
Zero tech experience. Like, you can tell he's the performer and he's not on the tech side. I'm sure he has editors and stuff, but like, just for recording, it was so basic. But again, it's like, I mean, all the late night and all this stuff, like, there's just a lower quality standard right now because of COVID and the situation. And what it's given us is the freedom to create and to go and do it and to not worry as much because it's more forgivable right now, and it will be for a long time.
Absolutely.
Like, I think we've obviously, make it, if you have the ability, make it look professional. Like, I film on a full-on camera because I have one. But if you don't, or it is overwhelming to you, start and get out the gate and then move incrementally, as you said, with steps to make it better and better.
Right. And I mean, and there's a lot of things that we do incrementally with steps to make it better and better. Like, if your room is echoing, if you've got echoes in the background, well, sometimes you just stuff pillows under your desk.
Yeah, exactly. It's all I mean, honestly, putting down a blanket on the floor can help. It's just because, think about sound waves, they bounce around a lot. So like, see which room you're trying to record in and make it as small as possible if you can. Like, doing it in a giant kitchen with hardwood floors is probably going to not work as well as an office with a carpet. It's just setting yourself up for success in small ways that really make a difference. With lighting too, like being able to clearly see your face and
well, and I think a lot of people assume that it's expensive.
Yeah, right.
And it's not.
It's really not.
I mean, I have 2 lights on my desk that now are LED ring lights. They were $25, $26 each.
You could easily get a basic filming setup to get your course done for less than $100 easily, probably with money to spare.
Absolutely. And I mean, and it's not about the crazy tech. It's not about doing it, to like some crazy standard. It's doing with what you've got.
Well, here, so I mean, I'll give you guys you in the audience, a couple kind of actionable tips on this. And again, I'm going to be going more into this. My presentation within the summit is called "Avoid the Tech Overwhelm and Film Your Video Course in Half the Time," and it's a 10-minute webinar presentation, super awesome. But just to kind of cover some basics
10 minutes, guys.
right now. 10 minutes. Yeah, that's right. I'm very proud of this. Which is why I'm saying it all the time. A 10-minute webinar, because how many of us have sat through a 90-minute webinar with about 10 minutes of real content? And you're like, well, that was nice, but like, I was really here for the 10-minute nugget. I just got the 10-minute nugget and the rest of it is gone.
Yeah, you got rid of all the crazy fluff.
All the craziness. There's still storytelling because you need to make it entertaining, but like I get it done in 10 minutes, and I've had a ton of feedback that people are like really thankful for that. And they're like, oh,
Mhm.
thank God. Like I didn't realize how annoying it is to have to do a 90-minute thing every time. But like now that I don't, it's like
Yeah.
it's just an easier yes for people.
And who said that it has to be 90 minutes of fluff?
Right. Who made that rule?
I want to know
Who
who.
made that rule? Because all of them are, right? Like
Yeah, I don't understand why it's 90 minutes,
yeah.
of fluff. And hey, we're waiting for a video to get on. Here, let me tell you about my dog. I have a really cute dog, but I don't think you will want to hear about my dog and my kids for the next
Like
20
YouTube
minutes.
tutorials. Like, stop telling me about how your friend's dog is feeling bad and tell me how to do this editing thing.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But no, so let me kind of give some value here. So again, here are kind of the top 3 secrets to making your course look more professional without having to spend a bunch on gear. And the first one is exactly what we talked about. Film with what you have. Film on your phone. It's fine. And kind
Yeah.
of step up even from that to not have to worry about what you're saying or forgetting stuff is to download a teleprompter app on your phone so that you can either read off of a script. I script everything out for obviously to make a 10-minute webinar, I have to have it very scripted. Uh,
Hmm.
you either can have it scripted or bullet points.
Hmm.
And that puts you in a place where you have a guide with you and you're recording right to your phone. So it's fantastic. And
Hmm.
that's all they need. And honestly, what I think at this point is with how far phones have come in terms of like a quality standard, unless you want to spend over $1,000 on a camera, your phone works fine. Your phone is literally the equivalent of an under $1,000 camera. It is better in low. So I had this little thing right here. This is what I used to film on.
Hmm.
Canon T3i. My phone has a way better camera than this
Oh, yeah.
because that's a couple years old, and it does way better in low light. It's really I'm insanely impressed with the phone.
Well, they put so much time, effort,
Right.
energy into developing these cameras on our phones.
Because that's what
You
our
know,
world is about documenting and having living that life online. So they've been smart and be like, okay, cool, let's make that life as gorgeous as possible with the camera. So
mhm.
I mean, the fact that we have the regular wide and zoom lens on the phone is insane. And the front camera is pretty good too. Like that's what you're gonna have to use with the teleprompter.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's just amazing to me because we have cameras that are more powerful than we could have possibly imagined 10 or 15 years ago. And people are like, well, I'm not really sure I want to use the camera here. And I'm like, just use the camera.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing that I mean, honestly, it's why you spent that. Was it was $1,000 at this point? I mean, we're all paying it off, but like probably a
Yeah,
thousand. I think it's $1,000 for the iPhone 11. Why'd you spend that money if you're not going to use the camera? Or
precisely.
even not even the iPhone 11, like whatever you have, like the newer ones, really, it's all stepped up and it's doable and it's one less thing to be an excuse for people to make their online course.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think that everything becomes an excuse for um, why you're not doing stuff.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, the more easy it is to make it, the less excuses there are. And if you're really going to give yourself 17 excuses to not do this, maybe do something else. If it's you keep moving forward, but like once you have there's a more positive way to say that. Like once you have the tools and once you know that it's okay to be a beginner and it's okay to get going and try it out in front of in front of your audience because you're human and you're authentic, then perfection is no longer an issue. So get after it and change your world, change your life, and make that online money because we are been shoved into the
mhm,
information economy.
right.
We are now
Absolutely.
we're learning online. We're bored of binging Netflix, and we want to learn something new because we're in the house. And so now it's, if you have knowledge, put it out there, and I bet you people are going to want to hear it.
Mhm. Totally. And I mean, it's interesting to me because I was actually having a conversation with my 17-year-old this weekend because my 19-year-old is the kid who can manifest anything that she chooses to manifest. And we've seen it over and over and over again with her. So it's almost a joke at this point.
Yeah,
And
because she's so good at it.
she's so good at it. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal at it. And my husband was sending her pictures of a Corvette that's for sale because it's a really pretty car.
Yeah.
And he thought she would enjoy the eye candy. And my son was like, well, don't send her the picture because then she's going to want to buy it. And I said, and if
So,
she
yeah,
decides
right.
she wants to buy it, she'll buy it. She'll figure it
Get it.
out.
Exactly.
And it started this whole conversation of, well, what are ways that a 17-year-old could make the money to buy a car
Right.
or a car like that or whatever car you desire? And he was very much down that track of, well, I could go to McDonald's and I could work X number of hours a week, and then I would need to do this and I would need to do that. And I was like, what about building a YouTube channel? And he's like, well, or, building a course. And he's like, well, very few people ever make any money on that. And it's just so risky. And
that's that finally. I think that's what this past, 6
Mhm.
months here has done, is it's been like, okay, say you want to go for it, or say you even like, let's go get a job and make it happen. Like, who's hiring?
Mhm.
Like, there's, the economy's in the toilet right now. We're trying to rebuild, and but what's beautiful was the last time something huge like this happened, we didn't have the internet. And now we can really create whatever we want, and we can make a living with it. And it really is simple. And yes, like, it's hard to get going, but like, once you find your thing and find like what you're incredible at, uh and make it into video so that you can teach other people in the most effective way. It's just about learning and trying stuff out, and
Yeah.
you're in it long enough, you're going to be successful.
Well, and, if you think about it, the Great Depression bred the most millionaires in history.
Right. Right.
The stock
Yeah.
market crash in 1988 bred a ton of millionaires.
Yeah.
2001, likewise. 2008, likewise. And, with the pain comes opportunity. And we're sitting here at a crossroads for opportunity. And I mean, I've heard my husband say more than a few times, well, it's such a stupid idea. I'm pretty sure somebody's making $1 million off of it.
Yeah. Right. Which is like, they're not. I've several times I've like done research to be like, is this a thing? And it's never a thing. Like, if you have that original idea, you have that incredible idea, and it seems too simple, even if, and the beautiful thing is, even if it does exist somewhere, you're going to do it in your own way.
Absolutely.
And the fact that somebody else has done it and maybe had success with it shows that there's a market for it.
Absolutely. And that to me is the cool part to me, is that, there really is a market for these things. Because I told my son, 3 or 4 years ago, oh, you're playing so much Minecraft and you've even set up a Minecraft server and built your own computer. Why don't you just record it and post the videos on YouTube? And he's like, well, everybody else does that, so I would never make any money. And I'm like, so what makes them different from you?
Right. I think the fundamental, again, for YouTube too, if you guys are thinking about YouTube, instead of thinking, oh, can I break in, blah, 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 there's so many people, think of it as the second largest search engine in the world, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
You learn the free education on YouTube is the primary, like, that's mostly what people go to YouTube for, is to learn stuff. So being in that conversation, and even like researching, other videos that have been done on the subject, and seeing how you can make yours a little bit better, like, man, what an opportunity. And it's just that, like, free yourself from like judgment or what other people are thinking, and like, go do it and document the journey, because that's going to be a hell of a story as you go, and for people to follow.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get it. And, and you have the opportunity here to do these things. Why not take advantage of it?
Well, and as you said, like, bred the most millionaires. Like, I've been calling this the Entrepreneur Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the double down and figure it out, or I don't know, just watch Netflix for 14 hours a day. Like this is it. This is the game. And for anybody that like wasn't like serious about it, this is like
Mm-hmm.
the okay, like let's double down, get in the conversation, get out there and create something. Are you going to be the millionaire that comes out of this?
Are you going to choose to be or not?
Because the market's there. The online course industry, again, we're heading to $300 billion. Like it's crazy the amount of money that is in this thing now. And this is the new way that we do education. Like this is
Absolutely.
it. Like, it's going to be virtual. It's going to be, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that colleges or schools or whatever are never going to catch up to the current and effective education that's going on from individual people. Like,
And it depends on the individual topic. I mean,
sure,
you're not going to
sure.
replace medical school, and you're not going to
Of
replace,
course, yeah.
getting a computer science degree, but there are a lot of topics that you can absolutely
Yeah.
garner a ton of information from. And
Like
you're right.
marketing is never going to be as caught up in a like college setting as it is just in the wild west of the internet. Like you can
No.
learn so much so fast, hop on a podcast, like whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and just have this incredible, like accurate and current knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and to that point, yes, you absolutely do get that information. However, you don't learn the strategy necessarily behind it or the strategic thinking. So there's different reasons to do things. So I kind of take a little bit of an approach of take the information, but understand that you may be learning tactics, not strategies.
Yeah, very true. And I think that's where the online course space really shines. Is it's the mixture of those. It's the mixture
Mm-hmm.
of here's the idea and then here's how you implement it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge because that's like it's not just theoretical, but it's like feet on the ground. Here's how here's the path. Here's the 5 steps.
Right.
Which is
Absolutely.
invaluable.
Right. No, and learning how to do the steps is important,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you
And
can take it
so
and apply it.
speaking of like the steps for today, so like how to make yourself look a little bit more professional. The last one here is because we talked about backgrounds a little bit. That's the second one is really make sure your background is something that is represents you and that you feel good about and that is planned out. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, with which we both have on lock right now, is your lighting.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to light up your face to make you literally stand out.
You need to be able to be seen.
You need to be able to be seen. Like if I would, that's
Oh
why
yeah.
when
I
you did it in
mean,
front of the window, and I'm guessing you would look like a shadow there. Like, yeah, what the difference on that? That's crazy. Like,
I have a window to my left.
yeah.
I have a chandelier above my head.
I'll show you the natural, not even natural, but I'm going to turn one light off. Are you ready for this?
Right. Yeah, precisely.
So much of a difference.
And lighting is so important. And yeah.
So, and again, like you can get going with a ring light for like $15. Like it's really doable and it's really effective. And I mean, in terms of me,
my whole setup, yeah.
Seriously, me, your people taking you seriously, being able to see your face is everything.
Yeah, and my whole setup here, y'all, so is like this is my desk behind me. I have 2 ring lights that I spent about $27, $28 each on. They're Miati ring lights. This is a regular set of earbuds that I got off of Amazon for like $6. And I have an iMac for my computer.
$40. It's not expensive. It's $40 and there's a little board that goes with it. And it's like, you get this clean, clear audio and those earphones are fantastic. Like I see those all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And they're great because audio is half the experience. If it's echoey, if it's hard to see you, how are people going to want to learn from you? So how your experience, your appearance, not just in the way that you look, but also like your surroundings and like what your setup is, absolutely plays a factor in how people see you as professional.
And whether or not you're trustworthy.
Right. And whether or not they're going to buy from you.
Right. Because if I didn't have these lights on my face, and I jokingly say, that I feel like I'm in the a deer in headlights half the time. But if I don't have the lights in my face, then you can't see me. There's no way you're going to know, like, and trust me, because you're not going to stick on the video long enough to actually listen to me, because, you know, you're not going to be able to see my face. And ditto for the audio. If the audio quality sucks hideously.
I'd say this. I love this example. So good audio with bad video is acceptable. Think like Blair Witch Project or Cloverfield, like shaky ass, camera. Good video with bad audio is not acceptable. If you've ever had to sit through a student film that is, the audio levels are different on like every clip and take, and it's echoey, and it's, oh my God, like you can't handle it. So that, I mean, that just shows you audio really is a big thing. And it's something, if I was going to invest in anything, because most of us have lights in our house, that if you just move that lamp over to behind your computer in front of your face or whatever, that's going to work.
I use dusk lamps for a long time. Time.
You don't need to buy it. You know, I have a professional lights because I'm a professional filmmaker, but like, you can just need a lamp in front of your face. Invest in some audio, invest in a little lav mic, or, how much were those earphones? Like $20?
$6.
$6. Oh, like, it's so cheap to do this decently and well enough to where people like see.
And I'm using my computer camera, and I have an iMac that's 6 years old.
I have a camera, and I need to get a piece of equipment that plugs into it that's about 120, and I will get that soon. But for right now, I mean, this is an HD camera. It looks fine, and we're both only half the screen anyway, so it works, and the light makes up for it, and it looks fine.
Yeah. And yeah, my next steps are to get my son to drag a cable in here from the router so that we don't have the loss of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And to have a dedicated, router that's for me, because we do have the bandwidth to do that in our house. And then, upgrading the computer. But believe it or not, the bandwidth on the internet is probably the next
100%
bottleneck.
No, because I mean, that's always, you can, again, it's incremental, right? So like getting your message across. So bandwidth is something that can affect audio. Your video is what it is. Your audio can definitely be affected if you have lower bandwidth. So, I mean, that's for sure. Getting your internet set up, that's going to be, I mean, that's like basic, more techie, but like making sure your internet's on point for lives is definitely something I even need to work on. But as long as you're starting, and the beautiful thing is, as long as you were like, hey, I'm new at this, like, come join me on this journey. I have this knowledge to help you with. I'm going to help you every time. But like, you're going to see as I get better and better, people are going to be rooting for you. It's going to be a really cool story. And that's how you build followers.
True story, bro. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys will join us for the summit. It is wensummit.com. To get your tickets, you're going to hear Noah as one of our speakers. It is going to be an amazing event. I am really looking forward to it. We have a welcome reception tomorrow night.
Yes.
And then we have all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday. And we have 2 VIP events. One is Thursday night and one is Friday night. And we are going to have an expert panel on Friday night, which is getting clients online using social media.
Oh yeah,
with several social media experts, because
this is awesome. I'm so
people excited. Are like, how do I get clients?
And my presentation, the specific name for it is 3 secrets to film your online course at home. And again, it's a 10-minute presentation. I promise I will give you value in 10 minutes. And I'm super, super excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much, Haley, for having me. And
you know what? This is awesome. I am stoked.
Me too. I'm insanely happy and excited for this.
I'm so excited. My team is laughing because I'm worse than a cat on a hot tin roof right now, getting people enrolled for the summit.
You've been doing work.
Oh, I've been working my tail off over here, but it is going to be so much fun. So I hope that we'll see you there online.
Definitely will.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.